What is up, fishes and fishettes? This is Eric over at Fish Poker. Today is a special day. We're in Vegas, baby. So after being out on the strip all day, going ahead and walking around the city, finally kids are tired, wife is tired, go back to our room, and now it's dad time. I go ahead and walk my butt over to the poker room, and fortunately for me, they're opening up a brand new table. So I sit right in front of the dealer. Guy to my left says, give me 300 bucks. The other dude says, give me another 300 bucks. The other dude says, give me 260. The other dude over here, give me 260. Give me 300 bucks. It goes around, give me 300 bucks. And it comes back around to me. The dealer says, how much you want, sir? I whip out all my cash, bam, bam, bam. Give me 60 bucks. Yeah, you heard me right, 60 bucks. All of it. We're here to win, right? So after getting caught with the phone recording the table, the floor man comes and tells me that I cannot do that. So from now on, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a visualization of what my hands were. And for this hand, I had King, Jack of Diamonds. Bing. And I'm on the button and everybody limps to me. I raise it up to 6 bucks. Everybody calls me without any slightly form of respect. I mean, I have 60 bucks. What can I freaking do, right? Anyways, the flop comes and it's ace 5 queen. The ace being a diamond and the queen being a diamond. So we pick up a flush, we pick up a gutter, and we have a gutter to the royal flush. But before we can do anything with that hand, the under the gun player goes ahead and donk bets out 20 bucks. It folds around to me. I go ahead and make the call. Turn comes and it's a 9 of clubs. 9 of clubs, that doesn't help me. But before I can do anything again, the dude goes ahead and bets out another 20 bucks. And if I just call this hand, I'm gonna have $15, $20 left behind, and which is not gonna be good for the next hand. So at this point, I just let it rip. I'm all in, I shove everything in, and he goes ahead and he calls me. The river comes and it's an 8 of spades. That didn't help me at all. I completely bricked, but so did our opponent. Our opponent shows King 10. So he did all this shenanigans stuff with just a gutter. We take it down with Jack high. So after picking up a few more big blinds here and there, now that I have a little bit more ammo, people are giving me a little bit more respect. So I thought, right? But anyways, somewhere down in mid position, I go ahead and look down at 7-8 offsuit. I bump it up to 10 bucks and I get 3 callers. I get the button to call me, I get the small blind to call me, and I get the under the gun player to call me. The board comes and it's 9, 10, 5 rainbow. We pick up an open-ended straight draw. And before we can do anything, our opponent in the small blind goes ahead and donk bets out 20 bucks. It scares off the under the gun player. It doesn't scare me off because I make the call, and it doesn't scare off the button because the button goes on and makes the call as well. The turn card is a 6 of hearts. So we pick up a straight. We have the absolute nuts. We're feeling great when our opponent in the small blind goes ahead and fires off 45 bones this time. I want to keep the big blind, I want to keep the button in, so I just go ahead and make a flat call. The button goes ahead and makes a flat call as well, and we are off to see a river. The river comes and it's an ace of diamonds, which I think it's a great card because one of our opponents must have had an ace something, ace 9, ace 10, maybe 2 pair, I don't know. But I felt it was a great card. Hopefully one of my opponents has an ace. And our small blind opponent goes ahead and fires another $45 bet. I go ahead and shove. I'm all in. I only had about 40, 50 bucks behind. And our opponent in the button goes ahead and folds. And our small blind opponent folds as well. But it's okay. We take down a pot of 280 bucks-ish, give or take. And we are now feeling great. We have a good amount of chips now. The last hand of day 1 in Vegas comes and I'm on the small blind and I look down at 2 juicy aces. It limps around all the way down to the button and the button goes ahead and makes it 10 bucks. It comes back down to me. I re-raise him to 30 bucks and it folds around and he re-raises me to 70 bucks. And at this point I call time. I go through my phone, I Google it, and it turns out that aces is the best starting hand you can have in Texas Hold'em. So based off of that information, I just went along with it and I shoved. I shoved for like over 250 bucks, 270, something like that. And our opponent snap calls. We turn over, our opponent has ace, king, and we are dominating. The flop comes and it's a king, queen 10, 9-9, I believe it was. So our aces hold up, but on the flop it was pretty scary. He could have drawn another king, could have drawn a jack for a straight. Anyways, none of that happened, and we took a massive pot, and then we went ahead and we cashed out. We cashed out for $530, $40 ish around there, and feeling great, almost a $500 profit. Now we go back to our room, get some rest, and get ready for day number 2. So day number 2 starts off pretty cool as well. We go downstairs with the family, hang out at the pool for a while, and after we're done with that, we go upstairs, change, get ready to go out. We go out at Circus with the kiddos. They start playing some video games. They like playing that claw machine where you put in some money and the claw comes, and they tried and tried and tried, and I think they just got like one toy. Those things are a freaking ripoff, I'm telling you. But it's okay, we won last night. We're splurging a little bit, we're feeling great. We go have dinner. Then after that, the kiddos stay in the room with my mom. We go ahead and go with my wife out, go play some slot machines, go play some cards, some blackjack, get some few drinks, and after she's already tired, she goes back to the room and it's daddy time again. So I go ahead and I walk my ass over to the poker room again, and you know me, big baller, I whip out a wad of money and boom, give me a 60 bucks, dealer. I go ahead and buy another 60 bucks and we start playing. So we sit down, and our first good hand is pocket threes. We're in the big blind position, and the player under the gun goes ahead and straddles, and it folds around back to me. It's only 3 more bucks. I go ahead and call, and our opponent bumps it up to 15 bucks. We're gonna go ahead and call this. I like pocket threes, and we go on to see a flop. The flop comes and it's 7-3-2. We flop middle set, and we check it to the original raiser. The original raiser goes ahead and fires off 20 bucks. And at this point I go ahead and shove. I don't have, if I call this, I only have about 20 something bucks left behind, and he can't fold anymore. So he goes ahead and he calls me. The turn comes a 9 and the river comes a queen, and he didn't even open up his hand. My set was good, and we take down. We double up pretty early on, and we start getting some respect. So a few orbits later, I'm under the gun, and I go ahead and bump it up to 10 bucks. And everybody folds except the button. The button makes a call, and we are heads up to see a flop. The flop comes and it's 7, 9, 10 with 2 spades. We're first to act. We go ahead and fire off 15 bucks, and our opponent gladly calls. Boom. The turn comes and it's a 9 of diamonds. At this point, I have no idea what our opponent has. I'm a fish. I don't know how to read people that well, but I do have chips in front of me, so I go ahead and fire off another bet of $20, which our opponent goes ahead and snap calls us again. The river comes and it's a queen. We hit top pair, top kicker. That might not be good, but we still go ahead and shove. We go ahead and shove the rest of our money in there, and we get called. Our opponent goes ahead and flips over 8 queen. So he called us all the way with an open-ended straight draw, and he got there on the river with a queen. Well, he got his queen on the river. Fortunately for us, we have a better kicker, and we take a great pot. We're feeling even better now. So we're card dead for about an hour now. We don't seem to be getting any cards. We keep losing our stack little by little, and just when we thought our luck was running out, we get dealt ace 10 of hearts, and we're under the gun, and we bump it up to 15 bucks. A guy in middle position calls, and the guy in the button calls, and we're 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes and it's 6, 5, 10 with 2 hearts. Not only do we have top pair with top kicker, but we also have the nut flush draw. But we go ahead and bump it up to 25 bucks. The dude in middle position goes ahead and folds. The guy in the button, though, goes ahead and re-raises us to 55 bucks. I don't know what to think of this. Maybe he's trying to get me out, but we do have top pair. We are drawing to the nuts, basically, and he's giving me a great price to call. So I go ahead and make the call, and we're off to see a turn. The turn comes, and it's another 6. I don't know what to do with this. I check. Hopefully my opponent goes ahead and bets out again so I can shove. But our opponent goes ahead and checks as well. We go on to see a free river, which is a jack of hearts. Bam, we got there. We got the nut flush. We're first to act. We shove all in. All of our chips go in the middle and we get snap called. And just when we thought we were doing great, our opponent goes ahead and flips over 10-6 of diamonds. And he catches his full house on the turn. Give that man his money. He trapped me. The dude played it and he got me. I go back to my room. I only lost 60 bucks, but I'm still up from the night before. And we're gonna get ready for day number 3 in Vegas. So it's our last day in Vegas now, and the family's getting ready. They're packing up, and I decide to go ahead and try to make some more money. So I walk my butt off downstairs again and walk myself to the poker room, and I buy in for $100 this time. And a few orbits around, I get not 1, but 2 juicy queens. I'm somewhere in middle position, and I bump it up to 12 bucks. The button goes ahead and calls me. The big blind calls me. We're 3 ways to a flop, and the flop comes, and it's King 9-8. The big blind goes ahead and checks. I look at the board, and I clearly see a king on there. I see it. From where I'm sitting, it's perfectly visible, but that doesn't stop me. I go ahead and fire $20. The button goes ahead and calls. The big blind folds, and now we are heads up to see a turn. Turn comes, and it's a 5. I look down at the board again, see if the king is still there, and damn it, that king is still there. And this guy is still a fish, so I fire off another $20, which our opponent goes ahead and calls off as well. And the river comes, and it's another 5. King is still there. Fish is still here. Fire off another 20 bucks. Our opponent goes ahead and calls our 20 bucks, and the bad news is that he flopped 2 pair. He flips over 8-9. But the good news is that he got counterfeited. The 2 5s, he let me get there. If he would have raised me on the turn, or shoved on the turn, or done something on the turn, or even on the flop, I would have been out of the hand. But he didn't. He let me get there, and we win a nice pot. We double up. On this next hand, I go ahead and get dealt ace, jack suited on the button. Everybody limps around to me, and I bump it up to 12 bucks. The big blind goes ahead and calls, and some dude in middle position goes ahead and calls as well, and we're 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes, and it's ace 5 jack. There's 2 hearts on board. There's a bottom straight draw on board and a top straight draw on board. But that doesn't seem to stop my opponents, because the big blind goes ahead and donk bets out 20 bucks. Our opponent in the middle position goes ahead and calls the 20 bucks. And me being the original raiser, I feel insulted that they donk bet into me, so I go ahead and raise it up to 60 bucks. Our opponent in the big blind takes a little bit of time, and he makes the call. Our opponent in the middle position goes ahead and makes the call as well, and now we see a turn. The turn comes, and it's a 4. Bottom straight got there, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm a fish. Right? So our opponent in the big blind goes ahead and checks. Our opponent in the middle position goes ahead and checks as well. Comes around to me, and I go ahead and shove all in for the rest of my chips, which was well over 100 and something bucks. And both of our opponents go ahead and fold, and we take a nice pot there. Our last hand of the day comes when I'm under the gun, and I put in a straddle, and I look down at ace king suited. So it comes around to me. Everybody calls the straddle, and it comes around to me, and I go ahead and bump it up to $60. We get no callers except for the guy in the button. He calls, and we go heads up to see a flop. The flop comes, and it's ace king 7. We go ahead and hit 2 pair on the flop, and we don't slow play it this time. We go ahead and we bet out. We bet out $100, and our opponent in the button goes ahead and makes the call. The turn comes, and it's a king. At this point, we go ahead and bet another $100, and our opponent goes ahead and folds. But even though he folds, we picked up a nice pot, and we go ahead, we get up, we cash out, and we cash out for over $500 again. All right, fishes, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little journey out in Las Vegas. But please, you guys don't hesitate and hit subscribe, and please give a thumbs up to this video, and I'll see you guys later.